Hello, and welcome to today's edition of Experimental Deck Building. I'm Amundsen, and today we are going to be putting the decks of the Shadows of the Wild Fellowship through their paces. The very first deck quest we are going to take them up against is the Nightmare version of Journey Along the Anduin. Journey Along the Anduin, of course, is one of my favorite quests, and I love running decks against it just to get a feel how the decks run. And since I have determined that my earlier quota of running against Anduin for the test, and then 5 different quests designed to test different weaknesses of the decks, was a little bit too much of a burden for my available free time, I've decided to try to move Journey Along the Anduin to one of the actual testing slots by testing against the Nightmare version. So, these decks are exactly as they were described in the blog posting. Both decks are designed to keep a low threat or mess with the engagement cost of enemies, such that we should be able to keep below the engagement costs and engage and kill at our leisure. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at our opening hands, decide whether we want to mulligan, and so on and so forth. For the first deck, this is a decent opening hand. It's nice to have Glorfindel, it's nice to have some willpower, but we're missing Resourceful, we're missing Hobbit Pipes, so we're going to take a mulligan. Okay then. That was just about everything we could have possibly wanted, and so I'm not going to complain about that at all. We got our Hobbit Pipe, and we have a Resourceful, and we have Threat Reduction, and Recursion for the Threat Reduction, and even some Willpower. That's one potential problem, because there are some locations that can really screw us over if the Dunedin Pathfinder pulls them. We shall hope that that doesn't happen. For deck 2, our opening hand, I'm actually quite pleased with this opening hand. We have a Fast Hitch. For Sam, we have an immediate side quest, so we can use Gather Information for other purposes if we so desire. We have an East Road Ranger. Especially since we have Send for Aid, we can immediately start questing to send for aid for the purpose of trying to see if we can pull Halbarad out of our deck. Or, alternatively, Thalion, currently being proxied by the Ranger of Cardolan. On the other hand, we don't have any of our card drawn here. Still, I think I'm quite happy with where we're at, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave those, and we are going to go ahead and do Setup to the River, reveal 2 cards, or 1 card per player, so for a total of 2 cards. The first card is East Bite, the second is 1 Chieftain Uftak, and because that was a very gentle setup, I'm going to use Mary's Response, Exhausted, to lower the first deck's threat by 1. Which is a thing you can do in setup. You can use responses. You just don't have any resources to play most cards that have responses. So, now we have to go ahead and search through the encounter deck for a Hill Troll. And add it to the staging area. It occurs to me perhaps that for decks designed to not engage enemies having to deal with a final stage of the quest where we have to kill all of the enemies in play could be slightly obnoxious. But on the other hand, that will be a test to see if our decks can set up to be able to deal with something like that. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Opening draw, Bilbo Baggins. Oh man, I couldn't have planned this better. And a sneak attack, that's fine. So, deck 1, the first thing we're going to do is play a Hobbit Pipe on Pippin, and spend 2 resources on Bilbo Baggins, searching the entirety of the deck for another Hobbit Pipe, closing and shuffling, playing the second Hobbit Pipe onto Frodo, and spending the last resource with Pippin to put Resourceful onto Frodo. I think it really doesn't matter which of the characters we choose. So, over here, let's trigger trigger Thurindir's ability. Pull up Gather Information. I keep it in the sideboard because technically Thurindir pulls it and adds it to your hand before you make the choice whether or not to mulligan, so it shouldn't be there. In fact, even before you draw your first hand. So the side quest you choose for Thurindir should be set aside before you draw your first hand. You don't have the chance of drawing it into your first hand and picking a different side quest, as I understand it. And then, of course, if you mulligan, it doesn't get shuffled back into your deck. So, I think I'm going to play Send for Aid, and we are going to see if we can get 6 progress tokens of the quest. And the first thing we're going to do, I think, is play Robin Smallborough. We could have played a Fast Hitch and saved up a resource for an East Road Ranger next round, but you know, I'm also going to play Gather Information just because I can. I don't know off the top of my head if there are any nasty discard card effect from your hand effects in this quest, but I'd rather not take the chance. So, all these things said, let's go ahead and quest with Frodo, Pippin, Bilbo, Thurindir, Folkoboffin, Sam Gamgee, and Robin Smallborough. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We are questing for 15 against 4 threat in the staging area. As I said, there are cards that can really just screw us over if they come out, but I had meant to play that Dunedain Pathfinder, I think. It's 2 more willpower, but it adds another location. You know, I'm gonna wait. Besides, I've already committed people to the quest, so that would really be going back. So, the first card we reveal is Massing at Night, which reveals 2 more cards. Those 2 cards being Gladden Marshlands and a second Hill Troll. And the third encounter card is Wargs. Because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be anything else? 2, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 threat in the staging area. We lose by 2, raising our threat by 2. We are forced to travel to the East Bight, and those wargs are going to engage our hobbitses. Well, not if I has anything to say about it this turn. We're going to play Take No Notice. The wargs are now at 25 engagement cost. We don't engage them. This is an unmitigated disaster, I think. Ready, everybody up. And there's Halbrad. And a Guardian of Rivendell. And we will add an extra resource to Frodo for resourceful. And I've just used Octagon's nice new automatic setting to do it for me. And frankly, at this point, I don't know what to do. Oh, technically, I suppose. In theory, I could have done damage with the Gladden Marshlands to reduce that threat. Oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it? I actually had... Well, I didn't do it, so... Pity. Or not, as the case may be. Let's go over here and see what we can do. Okay, player 1, we are immediately going to put a Hobbit Cloak onto Sam Gamgee. And a Fast Stitch. Saving up a resource for that East Road Ranger. Over here, well, we don't have a lot of options. Let's go ahead, play the Gladren's Greeting, drop our threat to 14, and exhaust the Hobbit Pipes to draw 2 cards. And a Test of Will is nice. Play out that Dunedain Pathfinder to look at the top 5 cards. We can add a Gladden Fields. That actually, I think, just made things worse for us, but... And then we have to shuffle the encounter deck. And now, I think we, against 2, 4, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 threat in the staging area, we're going to quest for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 19 before we're breaking even at the moment. First reveal. Okay. No enemy is returned by this effect, so Pursuit on the Shore gains Surge. That's fine. It's replaced by Marshland Outlaws. That's the first card. The second being a Marsh Adder. We've added 5 threat. We're losing by 5. We need to make 6 progress. We have the option to deal damage to heroes with Gladden Marshlands. If we did 9 damage, which is the total amount of damage we have on our heroes, that would reduce it to 15 threat. We would make 4 progress and still lose the quest. You know? That was an awful setup, or an awful first round of staging. We are going to try this one more time just to see if that was some really bad luck. We're going to scoop this one. We're going to see if that's some just really bad luck, or if there are some fundamental flaws in these decks that make it unsuited for the Nightmare version of Journey Along the Anduin. Alright, welcome back. we're going to try this again. So we are going to mulligan the hand for deck 1. It was full of threat reduction and nothing else. This is a slightly better, but only slightly better hand. Deck 2's opening hand is again less than ideal, so we're going to take a mulligan there. And, well, this is... I'm not 100% sure if this is better or not. Well, all things considered, this is going to be interesting, I guess. Let's go ahead and set up the quest. Our first two cards are Gladden frickin' Marshlands, Eastern Crows, which surge into a Hill Troll. Well, we're not going to add any Hill Troll then. And we will go ahead and get started. There's currently 12 threat in the staging area. We will start the game. At least we drew Bilbo. And another copy of Rosie, because whatever would we do without another copy of Rosie? So, deck 1, we are going to play out Bilbo Baggins. Oh. We actually don't need to look at the top something cards of our deck because he searches the entire deck for a Hobbit Pipe. And so let's go ahead and play it on to Pippin. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to avoid playing that Dunedain Pathfinder because the last thing I want is the 5 top cards of the deck to include the East Bite, which forces me to travel to it, leaving the Gladden Marshlands in the staging area. Let's also... Oh, that's the wrong card. Look at the whole sideboard. Pull Gather Information out of it. So there we are. We'll save a resource for a Test of Will, because we don't have resources to play anything else. Let's play Gather Information. And we will save Sam's resource for Rosie Cotton. So, questing. You know what? We're going to need to do everything we can against Gladden Marshlands, so we're going to send everybody. 8, 10, 12, 15. Against the first card we reveal is a Gladden Fields, and a second we reveal is a Dol Guldur Beastmaster. Which means we are losing by 2, but I can deal 2 damage to Thurindir to reduce the threat of the Gladden Marshlands by 2 until the end of the phase. Thus we break even and travel to the Gladden Marshlands. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 threat in the staging area. And we're ready to advance to the next round. We draw a Dunedain Warning. We are going to play Rosie Cotton and wonder where on earth our lore cards are. Over here we are going to pay 2 for Wandering Took. And save for a test of will, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will again quest with everybody. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 against 7 currently in the staging area. Let's do 16. We can exhaust Rosie to add her willpower to Sam's or any of the hobbits later. The first reveal is the Brownlands, and the second is Massing at Night. I am just going to say no to that one. We've added 5 threat to the staging area. We will exhaust Rosie to boost the willpower by 2, which means we've made 6 progress on the Gladden Marshlands. We are stalling more than a little bit, but that's okay. We have the threat to do it. We draw a Guardian of Rivendell and a sneak attack. That is something. Okay. Deck 1 is just going to play both of its remaining Wandering Tooks because nothing else really to do. I would rather not do the Dunedain Pathfinder. Again, I don't want the Banks, or I don't want the East Bite to show up and to be forced to pick it and be stuck with the Brownlands while we quest our way through it. Over here, we are going to save our leadership resource for a sneak attack. And again, we're going to hold off on the Legacy Blade, in part because there's no side quests we've finished, and in part because the ideal target for that is probably Thalion once Thalion becomes a hero because of the inbuilt readying effect. Failing that, Folkoboffin, who we can leave ready to strike back because Thurindir's willpower will be boosted enough that we won't want to leave him all on his own. So, at the start of the quest phase, before anything else happens, we are going to sneak attack in Gandalf. And normally, Gandalf in this deck will be sneaking attack to drop threat, but more than anything, we need card draw. That is perfect. So, now let's quest. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22 against 3, 5, so that's 8, 9, 10, 12 in the staging area. We're winning by 10, and we might be able to do some interesting things this upcoming round. Our first reveal is Flooded Ford. There are no progress tokens on it, so we're not going to have any doomed things coming up. Our second reveal is Driven by Shadow. So we've added 1, 2, 3, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in the staging area. We are making 1 progress. With Rosie, we will make that 3 progress. Oh, I really thought we were going to clear that this round. I was really hopeful with Gandalf. But at the end of the quest phase, there's 15 threat in the staging area. Gandalf returns to hand. And for combat, I really don't want to do anything. So ready everybody up. Actually, at the end of the refresh phase, which is right before the start of the turn, the resources were there to do it. It would have been a good idea to exhaust Falco and Sam to draw 5 cards with Peace and Thought. Alright. And technically, yes, I've seen what the new cards are before I did that, but it was a thing that would have been worth doing either way because I already had a fast hitch in hand, which I can play to ready Sam. And we drew another fast hitch, so we can ready both of them if we like. But I'm not going to do that, actually. We'll exhaust the fast hitch to ready Sam. Yep, that's a good place for it. And then we will also play 2 for Halfling Bounder, and another for another fast hitch, and we'll put it on Mary so that Mary can do his threat reduction and questing all in the same round. And Sam will get a Hobbit Cloak, which will boost his defense, and we will play Bill the Pony for free, and we'll play out Scout Ahead just because we can. Given the state of my threat reduction, I'd rather not play out Deep Knowledge, although I admit it would be useful to draw some cards. We'll play 1 Deep Knowledge, I think. And there we go. Arwen and Domiel. There we go. That's a start. Did I raise threat on both sides? I did not. And now we'll move on at the start of the quest phase. I will play Elrond's Counsel to reduce my threat by 3, exhausting the Hobbit Pipe to draw a card. And that last resource we'll save for the Test of Will. And we are up against 15 threat in the staging area. We can commit 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, targeting Sam Gamgee, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we can use Rosie to make that 22. Yeesh, this could be problematic. Our first flip is an Anduin Troll Spawn. Our second is another Anduin Troll Spawn. There is a Hill Troll in play, neither of them gains Surge. We've added 4 threat to the staging area, clearing the Gladden Marshlands. No need, I think, to use Rosie. Although, if we do use Rosie... Oh, and Mary exhausts to reduce threat by 2 for one of the Anduin Troll Spawn. The second, probably. If we use Rosie, we can put 2 progress on Gather Information. Oh! We are actually going to need to engage those Anduin Troll Spawn, unless we find some other way to avoid it, like playing Take No Notice, which we shall do right now. Now, if we engaged an Anduin troll spawn, Sam would ready. He would have 4 defense. Rosie would be available to block it. We wouldn't be able to kill the troll spawn, of course. Not sure how I feel. What I want to do about it. So, you know what? I'm just going to exhaust Rosie to add her 2 willpower to the quest, placing 2 extra progress on gather information, travel to the Brownlands, clearing it, leaving us with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 threat in the staging area. Ready up. Got a curious brandy buck. That's free. Got another halfling bounder. Sam will play that Dunedain warning. So Sam is now at 4 defense against enemies with an engagement cost higher than his threat. And if we engage one of them, he'll ready, and that will be 5 defense. And we will play Gandalf to drop our threat by 5. There we go. We need to muster 8 attack to kill the troll spawn. We could get 4 out of Sam with Rosie. 5, 6, 7, 8 with Gandalf. So, because I think it's time to start clearing out some of the enemies in the staging area, and the low engagement ones that could engage us seem to be a good start. Over here, no point in paying for a curious brandy buck. We could sacrifice Bilbo Baggins. Actually, might not be a bad idea. If we leave Bilbo Baggins ready, sacrifice him to an enemy attack of some sort, so that we can play our other copy to find another Hobbit pipe. Alright, I think we're good. That's everything we want to do. There's 14 threat in the staging area. We want to make 2 progress. 2, 4, 6, 8. Arwen will target Bilbo. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 against 14. That's what we'll do. Our first flip is another Anduin troll spawn. Mary will exhaust to reduce our threat by 2. And our second is the Necromancer's Reach, which I am disinclined to permit. We've added 2. We make 4 progress on gather information, clearing it, adding a willpower to Thurindir, and searching each deck for a card and adding it to hand. Double back will be the card over here, I think, and over here it will be send for aid. Now we are going to travel to... Our threat is low at the moment, and if we clear double back in a reasonable amount of time, it will remain low. So, given our incentive to wanting to clear side quests, we will go to the Gladden Fields because it has fewer quest points. The single point of increase in threat shouldn't be an issue. Deck 2 will optionally engage an Anduin troll spawn. Sam now has 5 defense, could easily defend against the attack, but Arwen targeted Bilbo, who is a sentinel, so we will block with Bilbo. Attacking enemy gets +1 attack, 5 attacking against Bilbo's 1 defense and 2 hit points, kills him. Poor soul. We'll play another copy next round. Sam attacks back for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rosie boosting his attack to 4. That's 8 attack, and between them, we kill a troll spawn. We're now down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 threat in the staging area. Alright then. Each deck does raise its threat by 1. Alright, deck 2 is first player. I don't have anything significant to pay the lore, to spend the lore resources on, so another halfling bounder will be nice. And now we have treachery cancellation out. Let's play out, send for aid, I think. We can use it to get a copy of Halbarad, hopefully, into play. There are 3 copies in the deck, and only 33 cards remaining. Searching the top 10, we have a pretty good chance of seeing him. We will play Scout ahead, as well as Bilbo Baggins. Looking at the whole deck, to pull another Hobbit Pipe out. Closing and shuffling, we will play the Hobbit Pipe onto Frodo. Now is a decent time, I think, to play the Dunedain Pathfinder. Looking at the top 5 cards of the deck, none of them are a location, so we shuffle them away and discard the Pathfinder from play. Could have been worse, I suppose. Oh, and when we travel to the Gladden Fields, forgot the trigger at the travel phase, we're going to put the Curious Brandybuck into play for free. Now, at the start of the quest phase, we'll quest for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, targeting Sam. 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 20. Oh, and Gandalf was discarded from play. 20, 22, 25, 26. We are questing for 26 against 11, and we are questing 2 quest for aid. We will now play Elrond's Council, reducing our deck 1's threat by 3, increasing the willpower by 1, and exhausting 2 Hobbit Pipes to draw 2 cards. 27 against 11. We need to make 9 progress. So as long as we reveal fewer than 7 threat, we will in fact make the progress we need. First reveal is an East Bite. Second reveal is a Goblin Sniper. That will be annoying and unfortunate, I think, because it will take us some time to clear the enemies. Mary, at least, will exhaust to reduce the deck's threat. We've added 3 threat and we make 13 progress, which is 1, 2, 3, and 10 on quest for aid. Deck 1, we'll look at the top 10 cards of the deck and put an ally into play. A Northern Tracker seems nice. Would have been nice if Glorfindel were there, but it was not to be. Deck 2 will look at the top 10 cards and put Halbrad into play. Which is perfect. And now, with Halbrad, could I kill an Anduin troll spawn? No. I can get 6 attack out, though. So we will optionally engage a Dolguldur Beastmaster. Oh. That's not what I wanted to do. We will travel to the East Bight. Engage the Dolguldur Beastmaster, which readies Sam Gamgee. He now has 2 defense plus 2 for Hot Cloak is 4, 5, 6 with Arwen. And the Beastmaster is attacking for 3 and will get 2 shadow cards. Sam will block for 6 against the attack of 3. No shadow effects. Ready with the fast hitch. His attack is 2. 4 plus 2 with Rosy Cotton makes 6. At the end of the combat phase, Goblin Sniper snipes, damage to Frodo, increase the threat. And over here we will put a damage on a Halfling Bounder, I think. And we will ready everybody up. There is now currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 threat in the staging area. We've drawn Glorfindel, that's good. And we have an East Road Ranger. Also good. Deck 1 is first player. We have 7 resources available. We will spend all 7 to get Glorfindel into play and to play Galadriel's Handmaiden, reducing Deck 2's threat by 1. Over here, we will spend a leadership resource from Sam to put a Staff of Lebethron on him, so that we can now start ignoring shadow effects. We cleared a second side quest. Thurindir's willpower is up. And if I save those up, we can get Thalion into play in an upcoming round. We should have 3 side quests cleared soon. So, need to make 10 progress on the quest. Alright. Questing for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're going to leave the Northern Tracker up and not use its ability because I would rather not do the Doomed X thing for the Flooded Ford. I believe that was 20. Let me count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes. 22, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We're going to leave Volko up. just in case we need a little more attack power. 30 versus 11. We need to make 10 progress. First flip is Gladden Fields. Second is Gladden Marshlands. We've added 13. Threat to the staging area, which means we make 6 progress. Clearing that. I could use Rosie to put 2 progress on double back, but I won't. We're traveling to... Oh, actually, interestingly enough, I'm going to put a damage on Mary, or on Pippin, and a damage on... No, I'm not. I'm not. There's no need. I could clear it this round, but there's really no need. We'll travel to the marshlands. We'll clear them shortly. We'll optionally engage the troll spawn, which readies Sam. Give it a shadow card. Sam will defend, exhausting Fast Hitch to ready, exhausting Staff of Leviathan to discard the shadow card. And then we'll attack back for 2, 4, 6, a +2 boost from Rosie. Kills the troll spawn. And again, a +1 threat for Frodo, and we'll put a damage on the other halfling bounder. Ready everybody up. And that's where we're at. We draw another copy of Halbrad. We'll play the Ranger of Cardolan, which is, as noted before, proxying for Thalion. Let's move everything over just a little bit, I think. And Thalion has the ability, while there's at least one side quest in the victory display, he readies at the start of the combat phase. And if there are 3 in the victory display, he becomes a hero. I believe we are about to hit that magic number. Over here, we'll spend a resource to play Dwarven Tomb, returning Elrond's Council to hand. And we will do that until the start of the quest phase. I think we'll kill the Anduin Troll spawn again this round, and then the Hill Troll next round, advancing the quest. Well, yes, I think that's what we'll do. We'll probably pull out the Eastern Crows while we're at it. Troll spawn, Eastern Crows, then the next round Hill Troll, and hopefully a Sniper if we haven't pulled out more enemies. So, questing. Unless we have... You know what? I actually want to use one of those leadership resources to play for Thalion instead of one of the lore resources, just so that we'll have 3 for the East Road Ranger next round. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14... Oh, we cleared an active location, which means the brandy butt goes back to the bottom of the deck. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 26, 27. And there's currently 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 in the staging area. We will reduce our threat by 3, raise the willpower by 1, and draw 2 cards. Alright. So if we want to clear a side quest, we need to make 10, 14 progress. We will aim at double back just to drop our threat even further. Keep us well out of danger. We need to make 14 progress to do that. We are currently, if all goes well, making 16. you know what? We're going to commit Glorfindel to the quest as well. 31. That should be enough, I think. Reveal Eastern Crows, which surge into the East Bight. And the second card of staging is Marshland Outlaws. We've added 4 threat to the staging area. Which means we're making 15 progress, if I count that right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 31 to the quest. Yeah, 15 progress, which is 10 on the marshlands, 5 on double back. Which means our threat is 11 and 20. Oh, and Mary does his whole exhaust reduce threat thing for the enemy. Forced to travel to the East Bight. And now encounter phase. Marshland Outlaws will take 10 to kill. Do I have 10? 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 10. So I guess we'll leave the Anduin troll spawn where they are. Readying Eastern Crows. Discarding our copy of Arwen and Domiel to ready Glorfindel. Optionally engaging the Marshland Outlaws. Alright. Start of the combat phase. Ready Thalion. And deal out shadow cards. And Sam readies when we engage that because 21 is in fact higher than 20. And with Halbarad, that plus 10 to all the enemy's engagement cost is going to be really useful. So, to attack, Sam blocks for quite a bit of defense. Readying with Fast Hitch, and discarding the shadow card with the Staff of Levithron. Nothing happens. The Northern Tracker will block the Eastern Crows. We'll return an exhausted ally to the owner's hand. Well, we'll pull back a Handmaiden, I think. We can get that threat reduction again. Glorfindel will kill the crows. 2, 4, 6, 8, and then Rosie will add her willpower to Sam's attack. 10 is enough to kill the outlaws. Shuffle the crows back into the encounter deck. Sure, they might come out again. Yes, that might be a problem, but we need to get the number of enemies down so we can take out the Goblin Sniper, which damage to Frodo, raise our threat by 1, and a damage to Bill the Pony. We have another copy in hand. We can deal with it. Now would be a good time to play this second copy of Deep Knowledge, raising each deck's threat by 2 and drawing 2 cards. Ready up, everybody? And we've drawn our third copy of Rosie Cotton. Okay. Weirder things have happened. There's currently 1, 4, 6, 8, 12 threat in the staging area. And I think we are in a very good place, all things considered. Over here, let's just pull out 2 copies of Galadriel's Handmaiden, both times targeting deck 2 with the threat reduction. And over here, let's pull out an East Road Ranger. Now, if we don't quest with the East Road Ranger, we are going to have... Oh, and play a Legacy Blade onto Thalion, who is now a hero, and gets plus 3 attack. We now have enough attack to kill trolls. And so now it's time, I think, to quest to victory. I think. Alright, save a resource for a test of will. Quest 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 24, 25, 26, 29, 30. 30 against 12. I'm trying to decide whether or not it's best to clear Scout ahead. If we clear Scout ahead, we can guarantee a soft setup for when we clear to the river. If we clear to the river this round... Ooh, actually that's a good idea. We clear to the river this round. Next round we clear Scout ahead and kill the troll, immediately advancing the quest, thus letting us know exactly what's coming up during our second phase of the quest. That seems fine to me. And we should have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. More than enough attack to deal with a hill troll. Arwen continues to target Sam. Our reveals are... Smoking Blood. No damage is removed from enemies in play. It gains Surge. Pursuit on the Shore. Victory display and encounter discard pile for the enemy with the most hit points. I believe that is going to be the Marshland Outlaws. Yes, Marshland Outlaws. This is... Oh, no, not each player does it, just one player does. We've returned that enemy to the staging area. And that was all card 1 of staging. Card 2 is a Marsh Adder. Okay. Mary will exhaust from the Marsh Adder, dropping our threat by 3. We've added 2, 3, 4, 5. We're currently making 13 progress, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 7. We will exhaust Rosie to make it 32 progress, or 32 willpower, which means we will make 15 progress, which, after placing 6 there, will be 9 on to the river. We will now travel, I believe, to the Gladden Fields. Interesting. Could do the Marshland Outlaws down here. And perhaps the Marsh Hatter over here. If we did that, I need 10. I'd have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, more than enough. And spend 2 turns killing the Adder with this deck. Could be worse. You know what? I think that's what we're going to do. We will engage the Marshland Outlaws, which will ready Sam because of Halbrad's effect, and optionally engage a Marsh Adder. Shadow effects will go like that, and we will raise our threat by 1 from the Marsh Adder attack. Sam is currently 5 defense. He will block the Marsh Adder, readying with fast hitch. Oh, and at the start of the combat phase, Ranger of Cardolan Thalion readies. So Sam blocks the Marsh Adder, readying with fast hitch, and using the Staff of Levithron to discard the shadow card. And now Sam will block the Marshland Outlaws. 5 defense against their 2 attack. We pick an exhausted ally to return to hand. Well, I think we're going to pick Bill the Pony, which we can play for free. And now 5. We'll put 4 damage onto that, and now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 will kill the Marshland Outlaws. Because the Marshland Outlaws say that, I think I've done this right, they say that if you are engaged with this enemy, you cannot attack. So other players can still attack and deal damage to enemies with a title other than Marshland Outlaws. So this deck can damage the Marsh Adder and before this deck kills the Outlaws. It was only if this deck was engaged with more than one enemy, which is sufficient. Now, we'll ready everybody up. And we have Elven Light. That is good. And we draw our last Deep Knowledge, just in case we need it. We'll play Bill the Pony for free. This round we are questing to scout ahead, and then engaging and killing a hill troll. Actually, I think I made a mistake. I did make a mistake. There was a hill troll in the victory display, or in the discard pile. So when I revealed that pursuit on the shore, it should have been the hill troll added to the staging area. So just thinking out loud, what would have happened? Instead it would have been a hill troll, instead of the Marshland Outlaws. Rosie would not have needed to exhaust to add the progress to the quest. There would have been one less threat in the staging area. So without Rosie exhausting, but with one less threat, we would have made just exactly the 8 progress necessary. We would have engaged the hill troll instead of the outlaws. Sam would have... Well, let's see. Sam would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Arwen. So he would have been at just enough defense to defend safely against the hill troll attack. So we would have engaged the hill troll. Sam would have blocked the hill troll and used the Staff of Levithron on the troll, which would mean we didn't remove Bill the Pony and so forth. Instead, what was the shadow effect on the Marsh Adder? That's the one that would have gone through. The shadow effect on the Marsh Adder was... each enemy gets +1 attack till the end of the phase. Each enemy engaged with the defending player, which would have been just the Marsh Adder. 5 attack against Sam's 6 defense were still fine. Attacking back the hill troll, we would have had 5 from Thalion, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Which means we would have done 8 damage to the troll. And at the end of the round, damage to Frodo, and another damage from the Goblin Sniper, which I would have put on Bill the Pony, and killed Bill the Pony, and then played this second copy from my hand. And that's where we're at the moment. Alright, there we are. I fixed my mistake. My apologies. Now we're going to need to kill 2 hill trolls. We need 4 damage to kill this one and 12 to kill that one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with Bill the Pony. And that's what we can do. Over here, we're going to play Gladriel's Handmaiden, and again, drop this text threat by 1. Play an Ancient Matham onto the Gladden Fields. We are going to need... You know, I bet that'll be fine, actually. I can block with Glorfindel. Ready by discarding Elven Light, and kill with the Glorfindel and the Northern Tracker. Or not. We'll see. We shall see. You know what? Maybe I just leave one of the allies up to defend. Chump block. I don't think there's any penalty for chump blocking. So, we're going to quest to scout ahead. I don't have anything else I can play. I could theoretically play... Oh! There we go. Play a Hobbit Cloak onto Frodo. Frodo is now at 4 defense and can defend the Marsh Adder with impunity. Alright then. Alright, so, questing towards Scout Ahead. We'll go with 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. (13, 14, 15). Discarding Elven Light to ready him. So 15, 16, 17. Picking Sam. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32. Against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The staging area. We need to make 7 progress. Which means as long as we reveal less than 16 threat, we're going to be fine. Saving a resource for a test of will. Okay. So far, so good. First flip, Gladden Fields. Second flip, a second Goblin Sniper. Well, that'll be wonderful. We make a great deal of progress. Okay, the first things first, we will draw 3 cards. Very nice. And now we will look at the top 6 cards of the encounter deck. We will choose brown water rats. No, that one's just annoying, not dangerous. Which of these cards do I really not want to see? Troll attack? You know what? Yeah, we'll pick Troll Attack to add to the victory display. Alright. And I moved brown water rats. So the next three, we're going to see three with shadows. And I don't want one of them to be brown water rats. Those two are harmless shadows. That is a less than harmless shadow. These two are ridiculous shadows. So, well, that's not ridiculous. This is a ridiculous shadow effect. So, the two trolls will get... Oh, wait. I bet... that will be just fine. There we go. These will be the first two cards of staging for the next round of the quest. And now we will travel to the Gladden Fields. Deck 1 will optionally engage the Hill Troll, which will ready Sam Gamgee. At the start of the combat phase, we ready Thalion as well. At some point, we're going to have to figure out something to do about those Goblin Snipers, and it's probably going to involve Peace and Thought to try to find another copy of Gandalf. Because those Goblin Snipers are very quickly going to start becoming a nuisance. I think I forgot to use Mary to reduce my threat. That's okay. You know what? We already did it. So, I was thinking of playing 11s as if we didn't need to use a test of will. So, deal our shadow cards. Deck 1 will play In the Shadows. Each enemy engaged with me with an engagement cost higher than my threat gets -1 attack and defense till the end of the round. Trolls are now at 5 attack, 2 defense. Frodo will block the Marsh Adder, who got +1 attack because apparently I placed those shadow cards in the wrong order. That's fine. Frodo will just raise his threat by 1. That is the wrong deck to do that to, though. Over here, Sam will block for 6 against this troll, discarding a shadow effect, and then ready to block this troll, again defending for 6. Noting 1 for himself, 1 for his ability when he readied because we engaged a hill troll. It's 2. 2 for the Hobble Cloak is 4. 5 with the Dunedain Warning. 6 with Arwen. We're fine. Glorfindel and the Northern Tracker. Kill a Marsh Adder. 5 attack. -1. 4. And we're doing this. Oh no, I dealt the shadow cards in the wrong order. Okay. I was right when I ordered things and wrong when I dealt the shadow cards. Both the trolls got +1 attack, so they were both attacking for. Would have been 7, but 6 because I played the event that reduced their attack. Sam defended them both safely, and this one would have been the raise your threat by 1 for the amount of damage you dealt. Which was none because Frodo was defending for 4. So now, each hill troll is at 2 defense. This one needs 3 attack to overcome its defense. The East Road Ranger and Bill the Pony will do it, putting final damage on the hill troll. Now we attack for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Rosie Cotton will add her willpower to Folko's attack, 10, 11. And 11 minus 2, because of the reduced defense, is enough to do 9 damage, killing the troll, advancing the quest. We raise our threats by 1 for the Gladden Marshlands. And at the end of the combat phase, each player does 2 damage. 1 can go to Frodo, but 1 of them cannot, and so we'll go probably to Glorfindel. Over here, 1 will go to the East Road Ranger, and 1 will go to Rosie, actually. We have multiple copies of her. We can afford something like that. We will now go to the refresh phase, in which we will spend Peace and Thought, exhausting 2 of our heroes, readying Samwise to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And now we will advance to the start of the next round. Okay. There are, somewhere in this deck, 2 more copies of Gandalf and 2 more copies of Sneak Attack. And I, in fact, am going to play Deep Knowledge in order to try and find them. There is a Sneak Attack. Okay. Over here, we are raising our threat by 2 again to draw 2 more cards. Alright, it is deck 1's turn to go first. We will spend 1 to put a Steed of Imladris onto, I don't know, Pippin seems a fine place to put that, and a Dunedain Pathfinder, because I don't think we are, oh no, not a Dunedain Pathfinder, because I know what's coming up, and I'm okay with what's coming up. Over here, pay another 1 for a Staff of Levathron, a second Legacy Blade. Thalion is now attacking for 8. Nobody should ever need to be attacking for more than 8. Play a Dunedain Pipe onto Thurindir. Exhausted. We're going to put 1 of our copies of Halbrad at the bottom of the deck. And draw an East Road Ranger. Well, in the top 14 cards of this deck are 2 more copies of Gandalf, and I am sure I will eventually see one of them. Until then, Goblin Snipers will keep making my life miserable. You know what? Let's just slip out another Halfling Bounder while we're at it. And because we can, let's put a Dunedain Warning onto Frodo, who will now be up to 5 defense, and 3 against enemies with a lower engagement cost than his threat. Now, let's just quest. We will need to quest for 319, except for we will discard Glorfindel when Pippin commits to the quest to place 2 progress. So just 17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. With a 4th side quest clear, Thurindir is now at 6 willpower, so that's 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 37 willpower against 2, 4, 6, 9, 10. We are currently making 27 progress. We only need 19. If we reveal less than 8, we will be fine. You know what? I'm going to reveal... No, we're going to be fine. Okay, we're going to reveal 3 cards. Nope. No, we will send Hopper out to the quests as well. The first is Marshland Outlaws. The second is Brown Water Rats. And the third is another Brown Water Rats. None of them have Surge. We've added 4 threat to the staging area. We are now making 25 progress, of which we only need 19. So I'm going to play 11s. We only need 19. We're making 25, so I can pull 6 progress off the quest and be fine. We'll pull back Frodo. And the 3 Wandering Tooks, which pulls off 5 progress, reducing my threat by 5. And exhausting the Hobbit Pipes to draw 2 cards. And now, with only 34 willpower against 14 threat, we make 20 progress, which is 1. Oh, we only needed 17. We pulled it back. Pippin as well. Well, or Mary. Oh, Mary should have exhausted for the Marshland Outlaws. I knew they were coming up, and I knew that Brown Water Rats was the next one, and the Marsh Adder is the only enemy with a higher threat than 2 in the quest, so we've already killed it, so Mary would have been the ideal choice here. So, yes, we can pull back even 1 further, reducing our threat by even 1 more when we played 11s. Just to note, okay, when we played 11s, we pulled back Mary, Frodo, and 3 Wandering Tooks, reducing our total threat by 7, from 39 to 32, which means we make 18 progress. There were 2 progress already on the Gladden Fields, so we make 1 clearing the Gladden Fields, and 17 on the Anduin Passage. When revealed, we reveal 2 encounter cards per player. The first is Eastern Crows, which surges into Dol Guldur Beastmaster. The second is the Brown Water Rats, and now the 2 for this player. The first is Smoking Blood, which gains Surge. Could gain Surge. You know what? Because there's going to be no more staging, I'm going to cancel it so it doesn't gain Surge. And the second reveal is a Necromancer's Reach, for which I will discard a Halfling Bounder to cancel it. Now all I have to do is kill all the enemies in play, and we will have won the game. So, the water rats are going to be annoying. We are now going to travel to a flooded ford. So, if we do nothing, things are going to go like outlaws there, troll spawn there, and then the water rats are going to look like that. If we optional one of the water rats, then it ends up like that. Okay, so no difference. If deck 2 optionals the Outlaws, then it would go Water Rats, Troll Spawn, Water Rats, Water Rats. And if deck 1 also optionals one of the Water Rats, then we end up looking something like this. Just like that. At the start of the combat phase, the Thalion readies. Sam readied when we engaged an enemy with an engagement cost higher than a threat. Oh. Yep, that'll be exciting. Oh, and when we travel, we will automatically put the Curious Brandy back in play, because we can. Okay, well, this is going to be exciting. Sam actually gets his boost twice, even though he doesn't ready twice. Because we engage 2 enemies, which, due to Halbrad, have an engagement cost higher than our threat. And you know what? That's how we're going to do things. We will toss out shadow cards like so. There are no cards left in the encounter deck, but due to the Nightmare mode, we immediately shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck anytime it is empty. So enemies never run out of shadow cards. And so now we're going to play in the shadows again, reducing these folks, these fine enemies, attack and defense by 1. So the first thing we'll do is we are going to block a Water Rat with a Wandering Took, and the next Water Rat with the next Wandering Took, and the final Water Rat with the last Wandering Took, which we will reveal the Wolf Rider, which we will block with Frodo. The attacking enemy is not a troll, which is a very good thing. And now the Wolf Rider returns to the top of the encounter deck. And now over here, Sam blocks the Troll Spawn, discarding, using the Staff of Levithron, discarding the Shadow card, and the East Road Ranger will block the attack of the Marshland Outlaws, who are only attacking for 1. They are now attacking for 2 with the boost, but that's fine. Okay. And then Thalion will attack, putting 7 damage on the Marshland Outlaws. And we cannot kill the Water Rats. At the end of the phase, each player is dealing 2 damage, 1 to Frodo, another one to Glorfindel, and over here, we have a Halfling Bounder that doesn't have one, and Bill the Pony is giving all of our hobbits an extra one, so we're going to put it on Rosie, who is still alive thanks to the extra hit point from Bill. Now we're ready. Another copy of Thalion. That is just wonderful, I tell you. Play our last Hobbit Pipe. And, oh, over here. Yeah, there's nothing really we're doing. Oh, Thalion should have been collecting resources for a while. I don't know how many he is supposed to have had. Possibly enough to play some of those East Road Rangers, but since I don't know how long it's been since he should have been collecting resources, we're just going to start it now. And now, over here, we will play an Ancient Matham. And why not a Dunedain Pathfinder? There's not going to be, actually, this is very good, there's not going to be any further reveals, so we can add a Gladden Marshlands. Okay, maybe not the best, but now we shuffle it, and we know the Wolf Rider's not on top anymore. There's now 18 threat in the staging area. We need to make 24 progress to clear that and draw 3 cards for deck 2 so that we can try to find Gandalf. Alright, can we do it? I think so. Questing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 31, 32. If we quest for 32, and if I'm planning on using 11s, that'll remove 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 from the quest. So we need 3 more. Samwise Gamgee. Right there. This time, by the way, Arwen is going to target Frodo, not Sam. Yes, that's what's going to happen. So I think we have 35. I'll count that just to make sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, plus 36 is 35. That is correct. We're also going to drop our other copy of Halbrand to the bottom of the deck, drawing another card. Another sneak attack. In the top 12, we have 2 copies of Gandalf, which we can use to nuke a Goblin Sniper. So 35, we reveal nothing. We spend a resource to play 11s, removing Frodo, Pippin, Merry, 3 Wandering Tooks, and a Curious Brandybuck from the quest. Removing 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, dropping us down to 24 exactly, and removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Hobbit characters from the quest, reducing our threat by 7 to 13, which is ridiculous. And drawing 3 cards from the Hobbit pipes. We make 6 cards, or we make 6 progress. Deck 2 draws 3 cards. There is Gandalf. And now, we will optionally engage the Beastmaster, which will ready Sam Gamgee. And now, we will... Oh, and travel to the Gladden Marshlands. Deal out shadow cards. that one should go right there. And at the start of the combat phase, Ranger of Cardalin goes away. Well, readies, not Ranger of Cardalin, Thalion. And that Curious Brandybuck goes to the bottom of player 1's deck. Alright. We will play... Oh, wait. We will wait to play Sneak Attack Gandalf. The first thing we will do is... Sam will block... Anduin Trollspawn, discarding a shadow card. The Doggle Beastmaster will get a second card. Sam will block the Beastmaster, discarding its first card. Its second shadow card deals 2 more shadow cards to it. The first being raise your threat by X. No damage will be dealt by the attack so far. Attacking for 4, Sam's defense is at the moment 5. So I think we're fine. And then Frodo is Sentinel because of Arwen and will defend with his 5 attacking against the Marshland Outlaws. Return an exhausted ally. That will be Bill the Pony. And here we will block these 3 attacks with 3 Wandering Tooks. First Wandering Took, nothing. Second Wandering Took takes a single point of damage. Third Wandering Took is defending against an enemy with 2 attack and also takes a point of damage. Now, we need 1, 2, 3 attack to kill the Marshland Outlaws. Thalion on his own will attack for 8, which is enough to kill Trollspawn. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is enough to kill a Beastmaster. And discard shadow cards and deal damage. 1 to Glorfindel. Raise our threat by 1 when we deal the damage to Frodo. And because I have another copy of Rosie, 1 to Rosie, 1 to one of the Halfling Bounders. Ready everybody up. Very good. We will just play one of our copies of Galadrin's Greeting to drop deck 2's threat by 6, reducing it to 22. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threat in the staging area. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 16, 16. Oh, also, and we play Bill the Pony again for free. And Rosie Cotton. There we are. So we're questing for 16 against 6. We make 10 progress, which clears the Gladden Marshlands. And during the encounter phase, we each optionally engage a crow. And during the encounter phase, we will sneak attack Gandalf to deal 4 damage to a goblin sniper, and then return him to hand at the end of the encounter phase. And during the combat phase, we will again sneak attack Gandalf, dealing 4 damage to to a Goblin Sniper. And we will deal out shadow cards. And Frodo will block the Eastern Crows. And again with the Water Rats. First blocking, nothing happens. Second block, nothing happens. Third block. +1 attack, takes a damage. Because of the extra hit point from Bill the Pony, the Wandering Took is still alive. Sam defends the crow, discarding the shadow card. Thalion kills it. Mary kills it. Both crows are shuffled back into the encounter deck. And now, forced, if the players are on stage 3, we are, and if all remaining enemies have the printed rat trait, and they do, discard brown water rat from play. And so we do. There are no more enemies in the play, and we have won the game. With a rather impressive score, if I do say so myself. Especially for 13 completed rounds. We have 12 completed rounds. We have only 128 points. And that's from the 2 damage we dealt to Thurindir right at the beginning to allow us to quest successfully and then travel to the Gladden Marshlands. And there you have it, folks. Nightmare Journey Along the Anduin. These decks were very effective. I didn't notice any dead cards. Well, the Guardian of Rivendell was a dead card for deck 1. We never played it. Our hand was never full enough that I felt like we could play it. To discard those other 2 cards from hand. It's a decent target for the side quest Send for Aid, however. It's a decent target for it because we don't have to pay the additional cost of discarding 2 cards, and it gets a rather beefy ally out onto the field. We got set up and we ended up just handling combat. The whole strategically engage enemies thing turned out to be more engage an enemy around and kill it every round. But we were set up well enough to do that, and if we weren't proceeding with the assumption that, yes, we're going to have to engage and kill all the enemies eventually, and specifically if there hadn't been also the Goblin Sniper in the staging area that I was trying to cut the enemies down to get to so that we could kill it, then we could easily have left many of those enemies in the staging area. We were questing for so significant an amount by the end that having those enemies in the staging area would not have been difficult to deal with. So, yeah. All in all, I'm very, very pleased with the way this went. We ended our run-through with 8 threat for deck 1, 22 threat for deck 2, after having played all 3 copies of Deep Knowledge, and raised our threat a number of times from encounter card effects. This is very impressive. I am quite pleased to see how it turned out. Anyways, there's not much more I have to say. We even had a really, really awful setup, with Gladden Marshlands being the very first thing out. it it wasn't like we had a softball setup at all. Um, a turn one Gladden Marshlands was what we saw and what sunk us on our last round, our first playthrough. It flipped, we couldn't clear it, but this time we didn't have the Gladden Marshlands East Bite combination, and so we were able to travel to it and clear it over the course of several rounds. It took us a while to get the side quests going. Once we did, we became a juggernaut that was almost impossible to stop. So, anyways, I've talked enough about these decks. Please join us next time as we take these decks up against the Wastes of Eriador. Something that has a quest that has enemies with a much lower engagement cost, and we will see if we are still able to deal with them as effectively. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it and come back for the next time. Goodbye.